Michael, if you can hear me, I'm in the nebula.
Book?
Whatever just happened down there, you can't let it happen again. It nearly caused another burn.
Sukal? He caused the burn. How?
Bodies adapt. All this dilithium and subspace radiation, his cells acclimatized to it in utero as they divided.
But he was only a child.
Then something must have happened to trigger him.
Welcome, everyone, to Deep Space Pride, a gay Star Trek podcast. I am one of your hosts, Johnson Lee, and with me is my co-host, Mike Thurlow. Mike, say hello to our audience.
Hi, everybody. Hi, Johnson. How
Hello.
are y'all?
Hello, hello. How are you doing today?
I am feeling more like myself. It's been a long week of not feeling super great.
But we have a long weekend. Woo!
Yes, we do.
Yay.
We do have a long weekend. So tomorrow is another bonus day off, which is nice.
It's really nice.
Much
Yeah.
needed. But yeah, I'm feeling back to normal. Thought I had strep, and so went to the doctor, and I'm negative on strep and negative on COVID. So it's just one of those random viruses that make you feel like crap. So, but
You're better, and you sound fine.
Well, that's good. My voice feels a little different, but yeah, no, it's so I'm happy that it's the weekend, and I'm happy that I'm feeling better. So how about you? How are you doing?
I'm good. So as some of our listeners may know, I started a new job 2 weeks ago. So it's been just a lot to learn, new people, new process, new everything, new clients, et cetera, et cetera. And yeah, I feel like I really need this weekend just to like have a little bit of downtime, because I feel it's been nonstop. Because it's a new job, it's like, as I mentioned, it is a lot to learn. So, I'm starting my day around like 8:15, 8:30, but then I'm also playing catch up a little bit because I am still being kind of inducted into things and being onboarded. So not only am I doing all my meetings and also starting to do client work, but then I'm like, I'm also doing trainings or whatever. So usually our hours are 8:30 to 5:30, but my days are not ending at 5:30. I'm like, all right, I need to spend some additional time, catch up with emails, because I've been in 5 or 6 Zoom meetings the whole afternoon. And by the time I'm done, it's like 7 or 8 right now. I think it's going to get to a point where it kind of evens out. But right now, and it's not a big deal. Like, it is what it is. It's been a little bit exhausting. But it's to be expected with a new job. It is what it is. I'm kind of, it has been a while since I've started a new job. I've just forgotten how crazy it can get, but so far so good. It's just like, I do appreciate the long weekend, I have to say.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nice.
Well, and I was talking to one of my coworkers, and she mentioned that this is, when you're kind of feeling, I kind of felt off and not down per se, but just not normal. And she said, yeah, it's a post-holiday blues. It kind of happens to
that
us
too,
all.
yeah.
So,
Yeah.
So it's that. So it's nice to have an extra day to kind of catch up and rest and do whatever you want to do. Because actually, during my vacation, I didn't get to do everything that I wanted to do.
Sure.
So hopefully I'll be able to tackle a few projects tomorrow that will like designing my office.
Yay. Yeah, that's been ongoing.
Yeah, but I need to.
And
I also have to go into the office this week and kind of pack up everything and decide what to do with it all. Not that there's a lot in my office.
Because you guys are not going back until what, late summer, fall? at least?
Yeah, we're not going. Yeah, well, the majority of the staff is not going back. I actually don't have I probably won't have an office until 2022. So,
Oh my God.
yeah. So,
Wow.
our current office is being reconfigured and opened up for programming space.
Okay.
And so, my boss and I are officeless. So we're going to remain
Officeless.
remote. There's places where we can work when we need to go in,
Yeah.
but not a lot. So we'll be doing a lot of remote work and through this year.
Yeah, I'm actually excited to go into the office because one thing that's really cool about my company is that we have all these different offices, and I'm talking to folks in Boston and San Diego, and usually if this was normal, I would actually be visiting them, like because we have like 6-7 offices in the US.
Oh, that's cool.
So it's cool. And yeah, it would be really cool to just meet people, but one day, not right now.
Yeah, one day when many more of us are vaccinated and things are a little more settled. So
for sure.
Yeah.
And the weird thing is by the time we're all vaccinated and we can go back to the office or whatever, it's going to be cold again, probably. Like it's just so, so weird.
Yeah, it will be. Yeah, it is going to take a while to kind of get back to that. And then also you kind of go through like, I work for, a nonprofit that is very friendly, and we like hugs and we like things like that. So it's also adjusting to different people's feelings on what whether they want to be close to people or not. So it's a lot of there's going to be a lot of social nuances,
right,
to returning to work. So that's going to be interesting too. And for
sure.
you, like you'll be meeting people for the first time in person, which seems weird.
Oh, hey, I know you, kind of.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So it'll be an interesting world that we're moving into later this year. But
yeah, for sure.
Still a ways away because the vaccine distribution is not going as fast as
it's gonna take a while.
Yeah, and also we live in New York City, so I don't know about you, but when I did that website that said "Where are you in line?" and like
it's like
I'm far down the line.
Down.
So yeah, we'll see what kind of rollout, whether there's a new rollout or a speedier rollout coming in the future. But this is sort of still going to be the way we operate for quite some time.
For sure.
So
why don't we get into the meat of this episode? Are you ready to spill the track?
I am ready to spill the track. Let's do it.
Cool.
Radiation levels are off the charts. I know. And the odds of someone surviving for that long are vanishingly small. I know that too. You can't go, Hugh. You have me, you have Adira, and everyone here.
Paul.
I need to go for me. I was so lost after I came back. And ever since we came to this future, I found a purpose I didn't even know I was looking for. I can help Saru. And if there is a survivor, they've been alone for decades. And maybe I can help them too. Just promise me that you'll be safe. We'll keep comms open. You can listen in the whole time. I gotta go.
So here's the recap. We're going to cover 2 episodes in this podcast this week. We're going to cover episode 11, Sukal, and I'm going to give you the description of that right now from CBS All Access.
Cool. I was about to read the synopsis from Memory Alpha, but why don't you go ahead and read the CBS All Access one?
Okay. All right. So Discovery ventures to the Verubin Nebula, where Burnham, Saru, and Culber make a shocking realization about the origin of the burn as the rest of the crew faces an unexpected threat. I don't know if it's unexpected. I mean, come on. We've been building to this all season.
Okay, you're also reading the CBS All Access one. So,
Right.
They can't they didn't try to pump it up somehow, you know.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
emotional.
exactly.
So, Mike, why don't you go first? What did you think of Sukal and the whole setup for basically the last 3 episodes of the season?
Yeah, so this is sort of, I would say this is part one of the triumph of the trio of the last episodes, which is sad, but
Oh, you were sad going into it, or you sad that
no,
we're
no,
talking
no. I'm
about
excited. I mean, I was excited. I mean, it is a nice arc when you look
Mhm.
at all 3 of these episodes. We're only going to look at 2, and next week we'll talk about the finale. But this one, as I was rewatching it today, I picked up on a lot of great character moments, like just moments that were really. And when I was watching these character moments, I was like, you know what? This was in Johnson's top 5 things he wanted in season 3 of Discovery.
Wait, which one? Which one?
Character moments. You wanted character
Oh, like
development.
secondary character moments?
Yeah, I mean, just character development, character moments.
Okay.
You know, there were a lot of great moments here. And the first one comes right at the beginning when Gray reappears during kind of the post Giorgio
Giorgio toast or whatever.
toast and everything, which we saw last week. Adira and Stamets are talking, and suddenly Gray appears. That's after Stamets says some really nice things about like how she is part of his family, and Culber is too. And then Gray appears and says, "So am I."
Oh.
And so that was a really sweet character moment right off the bat. And then later on, you get, not too far later, but later on you get Stamets and Culber having a moment when Culber says he's going to go down to the planet.
Right.
And Paul is freaking out.
He's freaking out, yes.
Literally freaking out, like having a meltdown.
He's displeased.
Yes. So I thought those were really, really kind of special. And I really, obviously we have a nice attachment to those because obviously those characters represent the LGBTQIA spectrum. And it's really nice to see those moments kind of captured. The idea of family, and more importantly, created family. And so it really felt special. And so I really, I enjoyed those moments. I enjoyed the kind of the progression that the episode went through. I think we talked a little bit probably when we first watched this. I thought that the holographic world was a little bit overdone.
It was, yeah.
Kudos to the VFX team or the special effects team, like, because I don't know the difference. I know there's visual effects and then there's special effects. So whichever
I conflate the
team,
two as well. I mean, there probably is a difference, but I kind of conflate it all.
So, I mean, kudos to them for the world that they created, but wow, it's a lot to absorb. And
it is a lot. I think this is where, and we had this conversation, I don't remember when, was it at the beginning of the season? This is the whole holographic interface and basically the entire environment within the ship. This is basically teetering on what's leading the story. Is it the special effects or is it the characters? And this is totally a moment where there's just so much going on. The world building is interesting, but it's almost distracting. You have like basically like stairs from Hogwarts. You have these like animals in the sky. You have this big castle. I'm like, this is a little too extra, where it was kind of just, and then you have this like smoke monster. I was like, oh my goodness, there's just too much going on, where it was kind of just getting a little bit distracting and starting to become a disservice to the characters and what was actually happening. At least to me, it was just like, and I know we're not talking about the finale. I have separate thoughts about the finale, but there are definitely moments like that in the finale too, where it's just like, it is too extra.
Understood. Yeah. I mean, I think some of the world that they're in, that they beam into, is a little bit extra. I agree. I think that I think that if
So
you,
we do get Doug Jones without makeup. So he was
That's
probably like,
true.
yes, like I
Right.
get to actually act without all these prosthetics and these like
That's
high
true.
heel boots, whatever he usually wears. So that was actually cool. I actually appreciated having Doug Jones, like moments with Doug Jones where he did not have to be worried about trying to articulate feelings through all of these prosthetics, which he is really good at, but it was just refreshing.
He
to see
is,
that.
yeah, absolutely. I mean, it was great to see Doug Jones in the flesh, so to
Yeah.
speak. Yeah, I mean, it was, I actually thought that there were enough character moments to kind of keep it going. And this time, at least, I wasn't as overwhelmed with the special effects, although they are very prevalent in this world.
Mhm.
I was more paying attention to how the characters were interacting with one another, which, as I was kind of thinking about this episode after I watched it, I think that there was a lot of great acting and a lot of great nuances between a lot of the characters on this in this episode. Sukal, I thought that it was really well done. The believability was there. The just everything from Saru talking to the elder, I thought that was important. The partnership between Culber and Saru, which you saw earlier in the season when he was trying to help the crew kind of get through the trauma of everything. And that was also mentioned again to Paul, like he's sort of found his calling. He's a doctor, but he's also kind of this, not, I don't know if therapist is the right word, but counselor.
He's like also like Neelix. He's like the morale officer.
Yeah, but
Basically.
he's more like Deanna Troy in that sense, that he's more of a counselor than a morale officer. But yes, I think that kind of a combination.
Sorry, I've been still rewatching Voyager, so that's been on my mind. I'm like, Neelix, top of mind.
Yeah. No, I never thought of Neelix in this kind of role, but I also didn't think directly of Deanna Troy. But I think he kind of fits in that in between. Almost, he kind of reminds me, and this just came to me, a little bit of Pulaski, where she was kind of doctor / telling people what to do, like maybe she's a little bit more bossy and kind of the grumpy old doctor, like
she's
McCoy.
more like grumpy. I don't know if I would.
But she's also counseling to some extent. Like she's not the pure medical
she's
person.
Kind of didactic sometimes.
Yeah,
abrasive.
But so I thought that the character moments between them were really good, and especially when they separate, when Burnham beams back to Book's ship, and she leaves Culber and Saru there. I thought that separation, that when she leaves, was really well done, because Saru was going to go back,
right?
And so also the thing that he said about being compromised. So if you I watched a recap from the last episode at the beginning, has that little tidbit with the Admiral and Saru about being compromised, and actually now we really do see the compromise.
Right. Yes.
Yeah, I saw it before and I thought he was compromised. I agreed with the Admiral. You said no, I don't think he came off that way last week.
No, I agree that he was my disagreement was whether or not, so this was our last episode, I do think his judgment was emotionally compromised, but my point was, you were saying that he lied to Admiral Vance.
Oh, right.
My point was, I don't think he realizes it.
Gotcha.
Like, he's like, oh yeah, I'm not. But this episode, the way I read it, especially with that scene that you're talking about with Michael, is that he needed that to be pointed out to him, and then he kind of realized, yes, you're right.
Yeah. So that kind of all comes to fruition, but that continues our kind of discussion. And I didn't really you don't really see it through the episode, but when it comes down to it at the end, when she leaves, when she tells him no, he has to stay, he would only be thinking about here if he went back to the Discovery.
For sure.
Which is true, absolutely.
And his judgment was also compromised, because if he was actually agnostic about the situation, he would realize that he needs to be the one to be there to connect with Sukal. Because he was like, oh, Michael, you're like xenobiologist skills. I was like, what are you talking about? You are a Kelpian. He's a Kelpian. If anything, it makes sense for you to be there. and maybe tell Michael to go back or leave Tilly in charge or whatever. So yeah, I was like, for sure, it was his judgment was definitely not the best in this moment.
Yeah, absolutely. So that I thought that was really good. I mean, the other thing, going back to the discovery, some really great scenes. So this is the point too, where this was the episode where I believed Tilly as number one.
Yeah, she was great.
You know,
she was so good.
She was
in this role.
You did not believe that she was ensign. She's definitely acting captain. She definitely, which we'll come back to when we talk about the finale next week, because I have some notes on that. But
the pep talk that Michael gave her was really good.
It was another character moment where they're sharing, touching things, and they've been roommates for so long, and it's just been really, amazing.
And that anecdote about the nub on the chair, I really like that a lot.
Yeah, so it was just so that was really great. But Tilly really took command in this episode, and I think she takes command also in There Is a Tide in the next episode, which we'll talk about shortly. But so I really believed her as number one, as the acting captain in this case.
Yeah, I think that she did a great job. Obviously, things did not work out as planned, but I think that given the circumstances, she did a really great job.
Right, exactly. Totally agree. So I thought that, and I loved that if you pay attention to just the characters looking to her for leadership, they really did. So, the camera catches it, obviously, thanks to the director, but you see that, like, what are we going to do? And she stands firm. She's strong. She really does a great job in that role, and kind of puts Osira kind of at a I don't know how to describe it, but she puts her in her place, but not really, obviously, because we see the end of the episode when they beam aboard, which seems to be like a slight oversight, right?
I don't get, so we need the mechanics. I basically need a Discovery Techno manual, because their shields were up. I was like, how did they beam on board? Because I think this happened one other time, and I found it to be very distracting. I'm like, their shields are up. They're repairing their shields, but then they're also like, shields are at 50%. As long as the shields are up, from what we understand, you can't beam on and off. Like, that's been a very hard set rule.
Yeah.
At least in, TNG, DS9, Voyager era. So I'm like, people are just beaming on and off. I'm like, I don't get it. So what? People can beam whatever now? Like, how do you defend against that? So that I did find that a little distracting.
I did too. Especially when the decloaking happened due to the potential reburn that almost occurred on the planet. That I felt like was a really opportunity for that to all happen.
And it could have been like, shields are down or something. I'll take that.
Yeah.
I'll take that.
Exactly.
One line, and then it wouldn't have taken me out of the moment. But literally, I was like, well, I don't understand.
So I'm also wondering too if cloaking still is. So maybe we missed the part where cloaking still doesn't work with shields.
But they sorry, the Discovery, after they both decloaked because of what happened with the almost burn, whatever, they said shields are at 50%.
Oh, did they? Okay,
I noticed this. Yeah,
you did,
I specifically was like listening for it, because I was like, I want to make sure that I didn't miss something, because they were like, yeah, weapons are ready, shields are at 50%, and then they just beamed into the chamber, the sports chamber.
So I think also I agree with you. Like, yes, I would love a Discovery technical manual. I think I think there's some issues with that because of what we've seen in some of the visual visual effects,
because it's like the TARDIS where the inside's bigger than the outside.
So I mean, that was something that's been a hard and fast rule in Star Trek for many years,
a long time. So it's
Discovery seems to kind of ignore that piece of it. And so I'm with you on that, and we'll have more to talk about that next week, obviously.
Many thoughts.
Yes. So So yeah, so these minor little things, obviously there is some confusion about whether you can beam through shields or not.
Yeah.
Whatever. But obviously Osira takes control of the ship,
Mm-hmm.
and Michael's on her way back, and they jump away. So yeah, I mean, but Tilly did a great job standing up to Osira.
Yeah.
I thought it was really a strong performance, and as we've said before, Michael's had a great arc of development.
Mhm.
So has Tilly.
Yeah. I mean, for sure. And Tilly has just had a lot of great moments this season. But, Michael Burnham, our Lord and Savior, whatever. Big note for the finale for me. Yeah, I'm already kind of giving you a hint as to my feelings about the finale. But, it needs to all go back to Michael because she's the savior of the galaxy. So, whatever.
We'll save those comments for next week.
We'll say but that was a prelude.
Let's
I would like to know your thoughts about the whole Su'Kal is the origin of the burn situation, because I have thoughts about that, but what are your thoughts?
Yeah, so we learned a little bit. We don't learn the full,
right, but it's like, okay, it's pretty
reason of
obvious.
this.
Like,
yeah,
it's pretty
I
obvious.
mean, yeah, I mean, they start to delve into it, and it's sort of obviously he gets upset during this episode, and it causes an almost burn again. So there's, it's not fully explained until the finale, but so yeah, I mean, it's I think it's unexpected, sure. And if we jump ahead, I mean, the explanation to me actually makes sense. But what I mean, it's fine. I mean,
it's just mumbo jumbo science fiction for sure.
Yeah, but
sure, whatever.
So, and I haven't read it yet, and I'm going to. I did download the book. It's a short story. It's a novella or whatever that they say that this season was based on.
Okay.
And I can't remember.
Oh yeah, I read that too.
Yeah, so I'm gonna actually read that. They say it's not, obviously it's not taken completely, but but I was definitely it was basically Ursula K. Le Guin, which they did name a ship after her for this. The short story or the novella is called "The Ones Who Walk Away from Omilas."
Okay.
So I'm gonna read it and kind of get an idea.
Oh yeah, report back to us.
Yeah. So maybe I'll get to that on my extra day off tomorrow. But so yeah, I mean, I think it's. I mean, we don't know the composition of the nebula. We don't know. There is some, as Culber kind of says, there is a possibility that that Su'Kal being born in the nebula with all of this radiation and dilithium around him, there could be some commingling of his DNA with the particles of all of that. So, sure. I mean, yeah, I mean, I get it. It's maybe more of a letdown because you think that the burn is this really big thing, and we've kind of been thinking that it was a big bad in this season. Like there was something or someone at the that was so great and powerful that could do this, and we find out that it is a child who did this. So yeah, I mean, it's still Star Trek. It's still.
Oh yeah, it's not Star Trek.
Yeah,
but yeah, I definitely was. The whole Su'Kal thing did not. It was fine, but like you're saying, I kind of I personally really wanted a grander conspiracy at the center of it.
You wanted a bigger payoff for this.
Yeah, the problem here is that the burn for this whole time has been this big mystery, and it was like really, really building up. And we had Osira as a villain, and Osira's okay as a villain. I actually really like the next episode because we flush Osira out quite a bit, but she's not kind of, I feel every season we've had like a really good, like season 1 had Lorca, and Lorca's payoff I thought was really strong. I thought some people did not like Lorca. The whole, this was the complaint about season 1 was they're not they're not holding like Gene Roddenberry's vision for like whatever. But then we find out Lorca's mirror, and that still wasn't good enough an explanation for people. Whatever. But I thought Lorca was great.
I liked
Jason
Lorca
Isaacs
as well.
was, because Jason Isaacs was so good.
So good.
And season two also had this like big villain, right? Control, like, and whether or not
Red
was
Angel /
successful.
Control, it was initially the Red Angel,
but then we learned that Control is behind everything, and again this massive conspiracy, right, to basically end all biological life in the universe. Blah blah blah, whatever. So this time I was just like, it's okay. It's like Osiris, like fine, she's bad, she's quote unquote bad. But I just thought the whole Sukal thing was kind of a letdown, personally, because it's basically just like the burn was basically a freak accident. That's what it boils down to. It was a freak accident. There was no bigger nefarious plot, and it's just okay. That's fine. So I could see, for me, the writing was kind of on the wall where it was like, all right, this is like, whatever. We need more information, but it was just like, it's fine. This is fine.
Yeah, I mean that it was a child, I think is the hardest piece of this to kind of swallow. If it were something where it was the ship that had a warp core breach or did something and it was amplified because of the nebula and the dilithium being there, maybe that would have been something. But it is a child, it is a being. Well, he's 125 years old now, so one single innocent person responsible for millions of lives being lost and destruction across the galaxy it seems like a drop in the bucket for the outcome. It would have been interesting if that had just affected a certain percentage and made that area completely incapable of warp speed or something like that. But to affect the entire Federation and the galaxy, that's pretty amazing. I mean, so
that's one word for it.
I mean, it's maybe not the best word for it, but but that's what we get. That's what we have. It's maybe not our favorite answer to this season, but again, we do have these different themes, or these different baddies, these different character focuses or thing focuses each season, but there's a deeper theme, and we'll talk about more about that next week, because that kind of gets summed up by Michael, and as I was rewatching this, it made more and more sense. So when that's kind of the way it goes. So
cool.
Anything else for Sukal that you want to talk about before we move on?
No, I think that pretty much covered most of it. Do we want to move on to There Is a Tide?
Yeah, let's spill some truck about There Is a Tide.
Let's go, Paul. We have to move.
No, I'm not going.
Paul!
We have to jump back now. He's in the nebula, and so is Saru.
We have to get you off the ship.
They'll die.
I know.
I already lost him once. I can't go through that again. And Adira, what would I tell them?
Adira's with them.
No. No.
Hey.
Let go of me.
I can't do that.
Let me go.
No. Paul!
My whole life is in the nebula!
Cool. So do you want to read the synopsis for this one?
Yeah. So episode 12, There Is a Tide. Again, not sure, inserting my commentary here, not my favorite title. Don't quite get it. Maybe we can suss that out. Maybe you have thoughts on that. But anyway, After capturing the USS Discovery, Osira seeks a meeting with Admiral Vance, while Burnham and the crew must overcome unimaginable odds as they attempt to regain command of their ship. Obviously, we saw the Discovery jump away at the end of Sukhal, and then we get into this episode right off the bat, and boom, they're traveling through this corridor.
Very convenient.
That is able to catch up to the Discovery and the Viridian. Or the whatever her ship is called. I think it's called the Viridian, maybe.
It is,
yeah.
I was like, oh, how convenient. It's like, what is the point of them getting left behind?
Well, I mean, so they do have a small ship, and obviously you see all the debris is pretty large. So anything larger than a small ship is not going to be able to make it through that.
Oh no! Well, my point is like it was almost a cliffhanger. Like, oh no, like the Viridian and Discovery jumped away, and they didn't make it. But then they basically just catch up like 5 seconds into this episode. So there's almost like no point that they were left behind.
Yeah.
It was just like a little bit of suspense, but it was resolved so quickly.
Right.
It's like whatever.
So what else what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on There Is a Tide? You go first on this one.
I really like this episode a lot because it gave us so many different gray areas. So one is Osira. I love how they gave Osira just a lot more character here because she, we were given this idea that she basically wants to destroy the Federation, but then we find out that she wants to actually form some sort of alliance, actually combine basically the Federation and the Emerald Chain. And we see a lot more depth to her character, particularly through the character of Aurelio, the scientist, who we are introduced to in this episode. And we're basically presented with these kind of like shades of gray in Osira, where, she is kind of ruthless, but at the same time, she has this soft spot where, for Aurelio, or potentially for other people maybe that have been cast away, that society doesn't want, and she sees potential in. And she is, she does what she needs to do to survive and to kind of thrive in this new world. But, she's not one-dimensional. I love that. I love kind of the back and forth between her and Vance, where they're trying to figure out, like, is this something that can work? And ultimately it doesn't. But, I really liked all those scenes, actually, where it's a lot of dialogue, but we see that she's willing to make sacrifices and, to make this happen, basically. So I really like this, like that part of it. I also really liked the scenes between Michael and Stamets, like where, again, all this gray area where once Stamets is freed from, being kind of held hostage, he wants to jump back to the nebula. And Michael is like, no, we can't do that. That's exactly the opposite of what we need to be doing right now. And Stamets, there was a really powerful scene where he's like, my whole life is in that nebula. And Michael basically knocks him out with a Vulcan nerve pinch. I was like, it was really good drama. Like, it was really strong development between those two characters and this gray area of what is the right thing to do in this kind of situation. Obviously Stamets has his priorities, but the future of the Federation may be at stake. So I thought that this episode did a really good job of kind of giving Osira, who really hasn't had too much time beyond a few mustache twirling scenes, like much characterization, but then also introducing some conflict between the characters that we've spent so much time with. And hopefully, I'm hoping that there's more to that, like in terms of Michael and Stamets. Like, we see a little bit of that in finale where there's some side eye basically, but I'm hoping that there's like kind of lasting impact that we kind of need to kind of delve into a little bit more. And even that scene where Michael essentially ejects Stamets, and Stamets is like screaming at her, and he's like, we came here for you, Hugh came here for you, we didn't want you to be alone. Like, that was like great stuff, great drama. So I really there's definitely a lot going on in this episode, but I think those two kind of key like interactions Stamets and Michael, and then Vance and Osara like really stood out to me. Yeah. What about yourself?
Well, yeah, I agree
What
with
about you?
you on that Stamets and Michael drama. Wow. Really powerful.
Yeah.
Almost heart-wrenching, but also it was clear that Stamets was losing his mind.
Yeah.
And couldn't really make a decision that was the right decision. And, I understand where Stamets is coming from, but I also I'm on the side of Michael here.
Sure.
I mean, it makes perfect sense. He's kind of emotional. He wants to jump back. Like, first of all, the bridge controls the drive. So who's on the bridge, like he can't just jump in the cube and decide to go somewhere. Although he seems to think he can. So that's the first thing. You kind of see him lose his mind, and so that was
Yeah.
that was
Yeah,
was
he
hard to
literally
watch.
like lost his shit. Like
Yeah,
was
he did.
crazy.
Yeah, and that was hard to see. That was hard to watch. Not in a bad way. I mean, I enjoyed watching it, but it was hard to see a very beloved character from who has had his own path. I mean, and character development through the season. I mean, really, and been through the ringer. I mean, obviously he lost Hugh. He got him back. When he got him back, it was not the dream that he thought it was, and they went their separate ways almost until the 2-part finale when Culber didn't end up going to the Enterprise. And they haven't really had that moment where they can be like have their honeymoon, so to speak, like get away. So which I think they desperately need, and it would be nice.
There's never a dull moment, basically.
Yeah, it would.
You don't have any downtime at all.
Yeah, it would. But my hope is that as this series progresses, and I know that there's always going to be an arc, but I do hope that we'll get to see like a family vacation of sorts or something. That the 4 of them, and I include Gray in there because I think that we'll see Gray next. We'll see Gray next season, but I think they'll be able to see Gray next season at some point. So I hope that there's a moment where we can kind of see like a shore leave-ish episode where they go on a vacation. Yeah, they need it. So there's that for sure. That's powerful. That's heart-wrenching. It's drama at its finest, and wow. And yeah, you do hope with such a big explosion like that, and you do see the remnants of that in the finale, obviously, but I do hope that they will carry that through part of the next season. And
I definitely think there needs to be some sort of reconciliation. Like, they need to figure it out because they didn't have time for it in the finale. There was so much going on. So many other things going on.
Yeah. So there's that. But then we have, the other piece of this. So you talked a little bit about Osira. I agree. The scenes with her were great. It does flesh her out. It does flesh her out, not flesh her out.
Flesh her out. Yeah, flesh her out. Like you fleshed her character.
Yeah. I think that definitely was nice to see. You kind of get a more three-dimensional character. And in the end, you kind of see that it's her ego that will just, she comes with great plans, but her ego is not going to.
But part of my problem, so part of the problem with this negotiation, and we can kind of debate this, is that all the concessions are coming from the Emerald Chain side. We don't talk about any concessions coming from the Federation side. So I was like, I get it, because we have these like Federation ideals, right? But are they impenetrable? Are they unnegotiable? Because the Emerald Chain, like they were like, we'll get rid of slavery, we'll stop, we'll make sure we respect the Prime Directive. Like they were definitely like trying to work this out. I didn't hear one concession from Vance,
Well, so you have to remember though that, and this is what we learned earlier a couple episodes ago from Rin, the Emerald Chain is out of dilithium. So they're kind of at the end of their power struggle. And so this really is the only play for them. And the only way that they're going to do that is by merging with the Federation in some way. So I feel like that's
but they also know the Federation is not exactly in a great spot either. And
No,
they
but
totally
they,
know
I
that.
think that I think that there's definite a need to save the chain and to save the people in the chain. There needs to be these concessions. I mean, she's coming to them to merge with them and form something new.
Mm-hmm.
But in the end, I think it's really her ego that gets the best of her, because she is the face of this. She is the evil person who's
Sure.
done all of these horrible things to all of these people. And we see it in this episode where she outright assassinates Rin on the bridge without a second's, literally 1 second he's there, the next second he's not.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's murder. And she's on a starship, she's on the Discovery.
Uh-huh.
She does that, that's murder. So even though that happened after she walks away from the negotiation, she totally now has pretty much put herself in a position where she needs to face justice for that.
But I just don't know what Vance really expected from being like, you got to stand trial. Like, that's basically like, if I was Vance, I would totally expect someone like Rosara to not buy that. Like,
But
come on.
it wasn't a Federation trial. It was a Emerald Chain trial, and that was the difference. He's not asking her to submit to the Federation for a trial. He's asking her to submit to the Chain for a trial.
Is he?
Yep.
Are you sure?
I am 100% sure. He says you need to be tried by your own people, and there needs to be a decision for that. So no, it's not a Federation trial at all. She's being held accountable by the Emerald Chain for her crimes, and so it is definitely not. I know you're reading the Wikipedia.
Yeah, I'm just gonna. I don't remember that.
Yeah, no, I picked up on that, and so it is not the Federation. So yeah, she is, it's her ego in the end that kind of puts an end to this, because she thinks she's going to be the one to kind of be the face of the Emerald Chain in this new Federation alliance. So at that point you see it all fall apart, but I think that that's where that kind of ends. The other piece that I really enjoyed was all of the Discovery stuff. Obviously we have Michael crawling around, like reclaim the starship and trying to reclaim the starship, and I thought that her killing those regulators was great and brilliant and really well done. I thought that the command crew and I love this command crew. I love the bridge crew. They know how to read each other without even saying words. And I thought that when they overcome the regulators, I thought that was excellent. And I was like, why didn't this happen sooner? Why did you wait so long? Like, seriously, like.
Well, they're like trying to buy their time, because they were like, they had to knock out those 2 guards, which are like, okay, it's like 2 guards against like 8 people. Like,
yeah, exactly. Yeah. So
it was for the
drama. I thought, and Rin obviously makes good on helping them break out of there, and which is also why Osira pretty much kills him. But
I'll be honest, I don't really care about Rin. I was like, bye, Felicia. I don't really care.
See, I think that what we have a human crew, which is, from the time they come from, the 2250s, yes, it was mainly a human starship. There weren't a ton of aliens. We have Linus, we have Saru, we have this other character that I don't, with the the squiggly face. I don't even know what they are.
I don't know. He's
but it's primarily a human crew, so I think it would have been great. And Andorians are a fascinating crew. If you ever go back and read the Deep Space Nine novels post
or
the
watch
finale,
Enterprise, we get
Enterprise. Yeah. So there's a lot of great Andorian stuff in there. So I think it would have been great to have an Andorian crew member.
I mean, I didn't really feel anything about Rin's death, only because it's not like we spent that much time with him and that we've made a connection. Like, he's spending a little bit of time with Book, a little bit of time with Tilly, but then, I mean, he helped out the crew to escape, but I didn't feel anything. I mean, if anything, that was more a moment for Aurelio to kind of see Osara for who she was, so that
Sure,
whatever, so he could help her, like he could help the crew in the finale. But I don't know. I was just like,
I mean, and speaking of Aurelio, it's great to see Ken Mitchell back for his third or fourth character on Discovery. And I believe he has ALS, so this this chair is partially helping him be able to do the longer days in acting in production. So yeah, I mean, I liked Rin. I thought he would have been a good addition to the crew. I thought that, going back to when he and Detmer flew Book's ship and attacked Osira the first time.
Oh, right. Yes. Also him and Detmer.
So,
yes.
there's stuff there, there's good character development there. So
a little bit. I still didn't really feel anything. I was like,
okay. Well, I did, and I'm sad that he was killed. So, but I did.
I felt things for the other moments in the episode, though, for sure.
Yeah. So, I mean, it was great to see the crew break out and go after, kind of to take back their ship, and then at the end of it, we see the dots kind of come up where. Yeah, I know you're rolling your eyes. Well, this is not your favorite piece of it, I'm sure.
No, so my problem here is that they took over the Discovery computer so easily when in season 2, it was such a problem. They could not get rid of the sphere data from the computer, remember? And that's why they tried to destroy the ship and they couldn't. And I'm like, shouldn't like the sphere data put up more of a fight? Like, instead they kind of retreat to dot 23s, and the dot 23s don't even do anything in the finale. They barely do anything. They couldn't like activate a turbo lift. The only thing that they did was save Owosakun. That's the only thing that the sphere data did. Otherwise, sphere data did jack shit. So I was just kind of like, come on, like it was almost like nothing. I mean,
well, I mean,
showing up.
I understand. I understand what you're saying.
Do you understand?
I understand what you're saying. I mean, I think emphatic. That. What's that?
I'm being very emphatic.
You are being emphatic, and I want to pose a technical piece to all of this. So remember that the Discovery was refitted. So they obviously, and we see it next week, we see a brand new computer core with programmable matter and all this other stuff in there. So I think that the fact that the data is no longer so tied into Discovery that it can go into a dot. And I know that this is a huge discussion. I've listened to it on a couple of other podcasts.
Oh, okay.
I think it's possible. This is my own theory.
It's all conjecture. Like we don't know.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Well, I'm
just basing it off of what we saw in season 2, where the sphere data.
Sure, and that's what everyone else is too. I think
so integrated,
right? But we see in the finale, we see the new computer core, we see the programmable matter. We know that the Discovery went through this huge retrofit. So I think that there is a way that this all makes sense in someone's mind, thoughts,
in
whatever.
Someone's mind, the writer, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, it's so. Yeah, and also remember that all of the part that we saw at the beginning of the season was pre-retrofit. So, the when they played the movies for the crew and all of that, that's all pre-retrofit. So,
I mean, this again is all conjecture.
It is, but I think know. I mean, I didn't. But then I wasn't bothered by this.
It just amounted to very little at the ultimately in terms of how much is sphere data actually, because this episode kind of sets up. Fine, let's just assume that because of the retrofit, the computer was more easily taken over. Sure, but then they made this whole my Alexa is going off because I said computer. Computer, stop, computer, stop. Okay, we can leave this in the podcast because it's amusing. But we made this big deal that the dot 23 show up at the end, but they just did so little in the finale too. There was
we're not talking about the finale yet. It's just
yes. So anyway,
hold your thoughts.
Thoughts.
I know you have lots of notes.
Yeah.
But yes. So I think it's
if we make a lot of assumptions, then sure, maybe this could make sense. But I didn't even think about that. I mean, sure, we had got a new computer core, but
yeah, which is why I think it's also easy for Osira to take over the ship because it's all been reprogrammed with this new computer system. So from the
I guess. I mean, but the computer, I mean, we saw the computer still have a lot of influence even when they were assessing Giorgio's situation, because they input it into the computer and then, oh, all the sphere data, like, you know, with the sphere data's knowledge and influence, plus our current knowledge, we now are able to extrapolate, you know, a solution for this problem. I mean, it was still integrated somehow into the system.
I'm not disagreeing with you. Yeah.
Anyway,
but
I don't know.
Yeah.
Conjecture.
That's all right. Conjecture. It's all conjecture. Well, I think, and we'll talk about this next week, but I think that some of the technical aspects of Discovery are a little
dubious.
Dubious is a good word for it. So anyway, anything else from There Is a Tide? Do you have any thoughts on the name? Like,
no, I had no idea. Maybe it's supposed to reflect how the crew is like taking the ship back over. Like, so, you know, it's a resistance or something.
Okay. All right. Maybe. Yeah. I guess that sounds all right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Anyway, cool. So any other thoughts? Did you have any other thoughts? I didn't have any other thoughts.
No, I mean, I had a lot more thoughts on Su'Kal than this episode.
I like this episode more than Su'Kal because, again, I think we had a lot of very strong character moments.
I think they were highlighted. Like, you highlighted the two major ones.
Yeah. And it's like all this like, and obviously Su'Kal had character moments, but this kind of just gave us these kind of like gray areas that we had to like think about.
Yeah.
And I thought, you know, personally, I think that it would have been interesting if Vance actually accepted the offer. I think that would have been very interesting in terms of what this means for the future of the Federation. Because, again, we're not talking about the finale, but everything gets tied up really nicely with a nice little bow. And I feel that if we got more of this like gray area about, you know, what is the Federation, like what does it stand for, like rather than like all this like, you know, utopian, like this is exactly what we stand for, uncompromised, it could have been interesting.
Well, I think Burnham and crew bring that uncompromised piece, and I think that we're going to find, or I think it's pretty clear that the Federation has been compromised, and they're just kind of holding together by the bare strings, which is why so many worlds have left the Federation.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that this season was about the burn. It wasn't about rebuilding the Federation. Next season most likely will be about starting to rebuild the Federation, but this season was about the burn and finding the origins of what happened, not about the actual rebuilding of it.
Yeah, because when we are going back to that, you know, that episode where we visited Vulcan, Unification 3, and we kind of saw some of the issues that again, we're presented with some of the gray area of the Federation, how it got too big. I feel that was almost like a more logistical problem with how the Federation was quote unquote operating versus the quote unquote Federation ideal. And the ideals of the Federation, which I don't think has been compromised. I think there definitely are logistical problems. If you're talking about 350 planets, that's a lot to manage. Like, you know, like you can barely manage a company of 300 employees sometimes. Like there's so many people. 350 planets, that's a lot of legalism that needs to be implemented. But I'm talking more about it would have been interesting to see more gray area in terms of what the Federation now needs to represent in this post-burn era. But instead, this is why I was saying what I was saying earlier about the negotiation between Vance and Otsara, is that Vance kind of just, you know, he held on to these ideals of the Federation, uncompromising. You need to stand trial, you need to stand trial by your own people or whatever. It would have been interesting, at least to me, to see there be a little bit more of that wiggle room, because I really like things like that when ideals, and this is why DS9 was so good, when some of the ideals do not stand up to scrutiny or stand up to pressure. I don't know if I love Section 31 and stuff like that, but I think there's interesting area to think and to discuss when you're talking about, I guess, these situations when things are not, think ideals are hard to uphold, I suppose. So anyway, I don't know.
No, I mean, that makes sense. I think that, again, I'll go back to my point that just says that, the Federation is the bigger of the two, and obviously Osiris coming to the Federation to propose this, so they need to make the most concessions. But
Which,
we don't
sure.
we don't know what the ideals are. I mean, if you go back and think about the episodes, they're doing whatever they can, what little they can, but honestly, the fleet is out for months at a time in different parts of, the galaxy, trying to help the worlds, and it takes months sometimes to get to a planet to help them out. So I think that they're kind of just trying to do whatever they can, but obviously over half the galaxy is disconnected from one another. So yeah, I don't know. We don't know a lot. Maybe we'll learn more. And I also think that these kind of areas, what you're talking about, these kind of gray areas, are better kind of sussed out in novels and in that kind of realm. They don't really make great television to kind of go into these deep dives on ideals unless it's, a single ideal.
Isn't one of the best episodes of DS9 in the Pale Moonlight, when Benjamin Sisko really had to examine what his Federation ideals were and what the greater good actually needed and what needed to be compromised for that. I don't know, again, we're not dealing with 26 episode seasons anymore, so maybe we can't have episodes like that. But I definitely think there's opportunity for good drama. I don't know.
But I think you're the way you came across, it sounded like you wanted it all to like dig into like all of the ideals of the Federation and what they were doing. And
I think it would have been interesting. I think it would have been interesting to see like them go down that path, and then the crew of Discovery, because again, we're presented with Discovery kind of holding the ideals of the Federation from a millennia ago, right? For them to kind of have to react to that new reality of what the Federation was, like not just the physical reality, but the ideological reality of what the Federation needs to be in order to survive. But in any case, that's all.
Yeah. I mean, maybe we'll see some of that next season. We don't know what this is. Hopefully Discovery gets to go for many, many seasons and can kind of maybe dig into some of this over the future seasons that they'll hopefully get. But we'll see. I think that we still don't know a whole lot about the universe as it stands now, really. We don't know the disconnections and all of it. We've got Navarro's perspective on what happened. Did we get any perspective from Trill? I don't think so. Not a lot.
Not that not
any real big
other than
clues.
They left.
They left. So
really,
I think that if we go and visit these different planets next season, I think we're gonna see these ideals tested. Yeah, and we're gonna get to dig into them a little bit more. But but we'll see. I mean, they're filming season 4 now, and hopefully
we'll
later
maybe
this
in 2023 we'll see.
No, I think we'll see something maybe late 2021. Hopefully,
maybe
we'll see.
Cool. So should we get into off topic?
Yeah, let's. I think we've wrapped up everything we can talk about for these 2 episodes, and obviously the penultimate episode was There Is a Tide, and we have the finale to talk about and dig into the season next week. So yeah, let's talk some off topic.
Cool. All right, Mike. So what have you been watching other than Star Trek?
So I have been watching a number of different things. It's kind of a wide range of types of shows that I've been watching. So Dennis and I are rewatching Avatar: The Last Airbender, which is just we kind of picked it up. It was a Netflix suggestion, and we both have watched it before, and we just a long time ago. So we're watching it again. So we're almost at the end of
the original. Yeah, it's not
the original one. Yeah, it's from like 2007. No, right? it's like 2007. Yeah, the original. I think it's from 2007, maybe even earlier. But so enjoying that. Prior to that, we watched Bridgerton, which
Bridgerton.
which you finally got into. I also and we can talk a little bit about that in a second, but I also wanted to say that we watched a couple of episodes of The Queen's Gambit.
Okay.
So that's heavy drama, and so we needed something just with the way life is right now in the world. We needed, like, you can only handle so much drama,
I guess. I mean, I binged The Queen's Gambit in like 2 days.
Yes, you did. That was
Wait, so how many episodes of The Queen's Gambit did you watch?
2 or 3, I think. So
okay. So enough to like see it get going for sure.
Yeah. I think we'll go back to it. I think that the drama of what's happening here in early 2021, the news cycles and everything going on in the world right now is, you kind of, drama is not my favorite thing to watch right now. I want a little bit of escapism, like a little bit of comedy, something different to watch. So that's why we're watching Avatar. But we did watch Bridgerton over the Christmas holiday and kind of that week after.
Yeah, I didn't get on until this week. And so the one reason why I actually started to watch Bridgerton this week was at my new job. They don't use Slack there. They actually do Zoom for everything, both video conferencing, but also chat. So they basically use Zoom for group chats and things like that. And I'm part of a group chat for the New York City folk, and there are only 5 of us. But I was invited to this weekly stand-up for the New York City folk, and we all work on like different accounts. So it's not like we're working on the same work. So this is my second time joining. And my first question, I was like, so what do you guys usually talk about? I was like, because it's not working on the same project, same clients. I was like, what, there's no agenda. So I was like, what do you guys talk about? And they're like, oh, we just kind of like talk about whatever. And I was like, first of all, I was like, all right, well, I'm really not usually a fan of like agenda-less meetings, like it's like to what end? To what end are we all here?
Yes.
But someone was like, oh yeah, Johnson, see any good TV lately? I was like, okay, let's talk about this. And I kind of went off for like 5 minutes, but I was like, some of my friends, really have been talking about this show Bridgerton, and they all seem to be into it, and they're all like, Johnson, you gotta watch Bridgerton. So I was like, I know, we should all watch Bridgerton episode 1 and come back next week and talk about it, because I was like, why not? So, and there are people on this call that I would not say are like, oh yeah, you would totally love Bridgerton. But I was like, you guys should we should all watch Bridgerton. And I think they were amused. I think the reception was somewhat lukewarm, but they were all kind of amused. I'm not sure there was total buy-in, 100% buy-in, but but I was like, well, I proposed it, so I have to watch it now. There's no choice. So that's why I started watching Bridgerton, and then I ended up watching the whole thing in like 2 days. So it was great.
Yeah. I mean, we watched it in like 3 or 4 days, maybe 5 days, but it's and I'm not sure.
It was good. I loved it. I mean, it was great. It was soapy. It was, there was this like Gossip Girl element.
Yeah.
Like, everyone is like pretty much everyone's attractive, if not at least compelling. The main guy is definitely hot.
Yes, he is definitely. And actually,
like nice.
They want him to be the next.
Scene.
There were. I mean, I didn't. Obviously, the sex scene. Well, there weren't any gay sex scenes, so
I was still like, this is hot. I mean, like,
there was some of it. Yeah.
There's stuff going on. I mean, there was like one. It's a Shonda Rhimes show, so of course there needs to be at least one gay token something. I mean, there was, but it was very tertiary.
Very tertiary.
But I was okay. I was okay with that. Not everything needs to be gay.
No. So I'm still like, when we watched it, I'm like, why are we like, it's just so captivating, but I'm like, why am I watching this? Why is this captivating? Like, yes, the lead guy is hot. I mean, so I guess I'm just watching it because the lead guy is hot.
Soapy drama. It's like candy. And I could never be a lady in waiting in the early 19th century. I have decided that could not be me. That being said, it was still just fun to watch. And if you think about it, so much happens. It's like very, Gossip Girl is like this too. And actually all Shonda Rhimes shows are like this, like How to Get a Murder and Scandal. It goes so fast. like plot wise, it goes so fast because we're set up with a villain in episode 1, like that guy that was like want to force the main character's name to marry him, but but that was resolved by the end of episode 2. And I was like, wait, was it only 2 episodes? And like it was set up and resolved, but it felt like so much happened. But I was like, wait, that only happened in 2 episodes. And then, spoiler alert, they're married by the end of episode 4. I was like, what is happening? It just goes so quickly. So I think there's just something about the speed of it, the drama, the soapiness. There is a little bit of escapism because this is like this alt reality where, you know, there's no racial inequality. I was like, sure, why not? You know, so there is this like fantasy escapist element to it.
Yeah.
I think everything combined just makes it very compelling television. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean that's totally true. So I mean I enjoyed it for what it was, but yeah, I can't really. I guess you put a better
It is escapism.
explanation.
It's
yeah,
totally
it is.
escapism.
Yeah. So that's sort of why, you know, Queen's Gambit is not quite as escapism.
It's not. I mean, there's a period element to it, which is like, oh, this is cool. You know, the way they brought the 60s, the 50s and 60s to life and stuff.
Yeah, sure.
But it's definitely a drama.
Yeah, so
it gets a little heavy sometimes. For sure.
Yeah, it's heavy. So I mean, obviously there's abuse and neglect and all these things that you don't really, you know, get excited to watch and see. So
but there is a character that you root for. You know, she has problems, but you like really start to root for her.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
It's underdog.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But it's not something that I can I can't sit down and watch that for 8 episodes.
Oh yeah, it was like
it been.
I think
and you
6
did
episodes or 6 or 7, but it's like
maybe 7.
But they're long episodes.
Yeah, they're hour. Yeah, that's hour. They're full hour long shows. So. So we're either in episode 2 or 3 or 4. I can't remember.
Okay.
Of that one, and then so I watched The Watch, which is on BBC America.
Which one is this?
It's the one I sent you a trailer for.
Oh yeah, I never watched it.
Yeah. No, that's okay. It's actually really enjoyable and interesting. It's got some interesting characters. Yeah, I'm really enjoying it. So
is it only on BBC America?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
So, but maybe it'll. Do you still have Hulu or no?
Yeah, I have Hulu.
It might actually pop up on Hulu. I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe. So watch the first 3 episodes of that. Episode 4 drops tonight. So that's enjoy it. That's what, you know, that's been something. And then I've finally gotten time to watch The Expanse.
Yes.
Which
that's not Dennis's cup of tea, right?
Oh no. This is something I watch on my own. Yeah.
Okay. So The Expanse, I feel, is the best sci-fi show on TV right now. I think.
I mean, it's definitely
The Mandalorian is also very good.
Yes.
But The Expanse is so good. Like, I don't know, like it's so well written, so well executed. It's complex. I don't know, you know, it's not everyone's cup of sci-fi tea because it's probably a little too complicated. But honestly,
it's definitely very convoluted. It's
there's a lot happening.
There's a lot happening, a lot of things that you only get snippets of. But I think I'm enjoying this season much more because all the 4 main characters are separated.
Mm-hmm.
And you know that they're going to be separated, so they all have their own storylines going on, and actually all of their storylines are really compelling.
Yeah.
No, it's been really, really good. I'm about to watch episode 6. The other thing too about this is like an episode ends and you're like, oh my gosh, I have to find out what happens next. And you start watching it and then you're like,
really good.
Halfway through and you're like, okay, I guess I'll finish this episode. And the same thing happens. So that's been really enjoyable. It's
really good. I mean, there's all this like epic stuff happening, but at the end of the day, it's such a character-driven narrative. And you see these characters just go through all this shit and they grow and they change. It's just so good.
Yeah, I mean, I'm enjoying this season much more than season 4. I think that, you know,
season 4, I admit, because the planet wasn't as interesting to me. Like there was stuff happening, but the whole thing where they were trying to like get into the artifact and like trying to figure out what's going on, that was a little bit less interesting. But here it's like obviously the big stakes for this season, spoilers, it's about the belt and the rebellion of the belt.
Right.
There's actually very little about the
last-
proto molecule right now, but it's still so good. It's like,
I mean, it was stolen. I mean, and Fred was killed. Spoiler alert.
But it's not like season 4 where it was all about this proto molecule structure and like what's going on.
Yeah. No, this is a much better season. I think. I think this is my favorite season since maybe the first or second season.
Season 2 is also very good.
Yeah. So.
And the whole thing is, it's this whole gray area, right? It's like, what are the Belters? Like, obviously, what's his name?
Holden?
No, the terrorist.
Oh, Marcos
Inarios, right.
Yeah.
I just need to I needed something to remember.
Jog in the memory, yeah.
But it's like this whole gray area, like what are, obviously I don't think we're supposed to be like, Marcos, when what he's plotting and what he's doing is right. But at the same time, it's like, what are the Belters supposed to have done? Because they've been trying to get equal rights and justice for years, so many years, and they've been, they've just been so neglected, and they've suffered as a people that it's come to this point. Is it right? Like, and so interesting to think about that. And obviously it's probably not right to kill millions of people, but they got so desperate that this was the result. And maybe this is a larger discussion about like terrorism and the rights and wrongs of like people acting in that way. But I love how they're like kind of diving into it and kind of having that discourse about, and we get to see their perspective too, the perspective of the Belters, and even they're not in agreement about it. But I love that gray area.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of great stuff in this season. So I'd highly, if you've watched it before, I mean, definitely jump into season 5 because it is very good. It's on Amazon Prime. It's great. So yeah, that's what I'm watching. I did watch the first 2 episodes of WandaVision.
Yes, I did too. I thought it was fun. It was interesting.
Interesting. Yeah.
It's interesting. It's like setup.
Yeah, it's setup. It's pure setup. So I think we're going to find out more about what's going on in coming episodes. But it's very reminiscent of Bewitched. The titles for episode 2 were Bewitched style.
Oh yeah, totally.
I don't think of any 50s sitcom for the first episode. But so it's I think that. And there's a lot of chatter about it being part of a bigger Marvel universe piece. So I think we'll get there. I mean, obviously that in the middle of the second episode, there was a ad for Strucker Watch, and you see the octopus, the Hydra octopus or whatever. So on it. So it's I
love those little like those little nuggets.
There's some stuff going on. So, and obviously the radio breaking through.
I love the one thing I really do like is that it's the episodes going along, and then you have these like huge shifts in tone when reality starts to break through.
Yeah,
like in the first episode when Mr. Hart, the boss, is choking, and then it was like suddenly you just went from this comedy, this comedy errors to like like what's happening right now. And that happens in the second episode too. I with the spoilers, like the beekeeper, I was like what the fuck,
Oh, the beekeeper, yes, but I was even thinking that the radio,
the radio too, when
she's helping clean up after the women's meeting or whatever.
That too.
So
it's like such a stark. It's very sudden, and the way they do it is so well executed. I love it.
So it's it's interesting. I'm excited to see where it goes next. I'm glad that they released 2 episodes because at least it gives you a little bit more. So that's pretty much all I'm watching. As far
that's
as
a lot.
That is a lot. As far as what I'm reading.
There's nothing. I'm not reading anything other than onboarding documents right now.
Well, yeah, right. So I've been reading a bunch of different things and a wide variety of things. I'm reading. I've gotten into the latest Star Wars, The High Republic Light of the Jedi book, which is really interesting. So it's set 400 years before Phantom Menace. It's a multimedia series that they're going to release over the next 3 years. So it's actually really interesting. I want to kind of go online and kind of get a little bit more idea of these characters, because they've obviously fleshed them out a little bit more, and they have released some information on them. But so I'm reading that. I haven't. I've only listened to the first chapter of Picard novel. I've kind of taken a break from that. I'm reading. Actually, I got
taking a break. You barely started.
Yeah, I only.
You were so excited about it.
I was, and then the first chapter just didn't grab me as well as which sometimes happens with some of these Star Trek novels.
I always find the first chapter it's like set up right, and it takes a while to really like flesh it out and get into the groove of the story.
Yeah. So, but I'm also reading on Audible. I'm listening to Audible When Harry Met Harry, which is really kind of cute and interesting.
Harry, it's not gay.
It's an LGBTQ book. So part of my this year and my spiritual journey is to learn more about my own faith and whatnot. So I've been digging into a book called The Case for Christ, which I've been reading, but on the audio side, I was listening to Mere Christianity by C.S. Lewis,
another classic,
which is huge. You have to listen, you have to read these with.
It's very dense.
Yeah, you have to listen to them though in the mindset of when they were written and understand that it doesn't exactly translate to now. Because Mere Christianity is 80 plus years old or something like that. So but that led me to to kind of delve into C.S. Lewis's writings a little bit. So I'm also listening to Out of the Silent Planet by C.S. Lewis, which is his sci-fi novel.
He also has a space trilogy.
That's book one.
Oh, okay. So this is part I read it. It's okay.
Yeah, I mean, I've listened to.
I think The Chronicles of Narnia was a more successful fictional work from C.S. Lewis than the space trilogy.
Yeah. So I'm kind of all over the place. I'm kind of
you are all over the place.
Yeah, I'm kind of doing a lot of different reading, just whatever kind of drives me in the moment. But some learning, some fun stuff, some cultural, some cultural icons with C.S. Lewis and whatnot. So. Definitely all over the place, but a lot of great books. And I'm actually going to keep a kind of written list this year of the things that I'm reading and read.
Wow,
and,
look at you!
Categorize it, and
aren't you special?
So
it's a lot.
I want to track kind of what I be a little bit more mindful of what I'm reading and what I'm taking away from it. So that's pretty much what I've been consuming lately. I can't think of anything else. So what about you? What have you been reading watching?
I haven't been reading anything.
Okay. Yeah, you've been onboarding.
Not
offboarding. You're not offboarding.
I mean, I've already talked a little bit about what I'm watching. Very emphatically, once again. I'm also watching I don't think you're watching it. The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina on Netflix.
Oh yeah, I've watched parts of it.
On New Year's Eve. Yeah. So this is like the last season. I mean, it's fine. I think like the first season. Did you ever watch any of the Chilling Adventures?
I watched the first season, if not, or part of the first season, if not the whole first season.
So I think the first season was probably the best because this does happen, where it's just so ridiculous, so over the top. Now it's kind of like everything's a little more ho-hum. Like it's not as compelling as it used to be personally, and also just kind of seeing it for like it's not that good. Like if you're judging it as kind of just like a piece of contemporary fiction, it's honestly not the writing is not good. Like I'm like, I watched 2 episodes this season, and I actually took a pause for 2 weeks because I was like, this is bad. This is bad.
Wow.
Meanwhile, there's all this other content out there to watch right now. But I did get back into it this weekend, and now I'm like over halfway through the season. I think there are 8 episodes. I'm on episode 5 or 6. I'm liking it more. I mean, the first 2 episodes were again a little bit meh, but now I'm kind of getting back into it, and I'm just gonna finish it off. So that's the only other thing I'm watching. I still need to go back to The Boys. I didn't finish this most recent season.
Oh, I haven't watched that at all. So
yeah. I still need to go back to it.
I don't know if now is the right time to do that, but
I mean, this stuff doesn't really bother me. I mean, like, I compartmentalize pretty well.
Yeah.
So, like it doesn't really bug me.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know.
So and in your off time, you've been watching Voyager, so
and Voyager. I'm still on season 2. I mean, these seasons again are very long.
Well, 26 episodes. I mean,
it's so much. I mean, the first season was only like, I think 16, 17.
Yeah. Well, it started in January.
It was a little short.
Actually, it's this past week was the
anniversary. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the other thing that I'm watching. I haven't been gaming at all. There are some games upcoming that I want to play, but I don't even have time for it right now. But there are some games I probably want to play, but right now I haven't been gaming whatsoever. So that's kind of sad. I want to kind of get back on that wagon. But yeah, that's it. I do need to watch the latest episode of The Expanse, but I've been kind of like saving it. But yeah, it's so good. So good.
Yeah, it is. It's probably the show that I'm enjoying the most right now that Discovery is over. It's definitely the others that I've mentioned are fine, are good, but Expanse is like any show that makes me want to keep going and leaves me hanging. And also so I will probably go back after the season is over and kind of see where James S.A. Corey's novels kind of take the adventure versus what they're doing in the TV show. But I think that this season is phenomenal, and but I don't preamble it. I kind of, at least with this show, I wasn't convinced that this was, because I didn't really love season 4.
Yeah, you weren't in a rush to watch the season.
I wasn't, because I felt like it was a continuation of season 4, but this is so completely different than season 4 that I feel very compelled to watch it, and now that I'm into it. So yeah, I will probably tomorrow on my day off, I will probably watch episode 6 and 7 in the morning, probably when I get up, and just because I'm dying to find out what happens. So, but
see, this is like what you were saying earlier. I mean, this is The Expanse is heavy drama. You were saying earlier that heavy drama is not necessarily your cup of tea right now, but The Expanse is very heavy drama. It takes itself very seriously. It is. Like,
it does, yeah. But sci-fi heavy drama is different than
it is.
Like
there is a level
Earth-based
of
drama.
Earth-based, Terran-based.
Yeah, Terran-based drama is different than sci-fi drama. So yeah, that's
like heavy stuff for sure. Like
absolutely. I mean,
terrorism,
they're deep
family
themes.
Dynamics.
Yeah. Racism or elitism.
Basically it is racism.
So yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, no, it's definitely got those themes, but it's different when it's in a sci-fi setting, I think. For me personally, I the drama of real life and watching real life, I'm like, I need to escape from this, not kind of live through a different version of this right now. So but yeah, so yeah, I think that's everything. But we'd love to hear from our viewers if they would like to share with us what they are watching outside of Discovery or Star Trek now that we are done with 23 weeks straight of Star Trek. So we've given you some choices.
Then it's like, when are we gonna, I feel this year we're gonna get Prodigy for sure, and that's probably gonna be, I don't know, summer. And then what? And then
Lower Decks should be, Lower Decks and Discovery season 4.
Lower Decks season 2 is going to be back this year?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Because he was writing it while season 1 was airing.
Yeah. I mean, but animation takes a long time too. Sometimes,
Yeah.
like it's just like.
Well, we're not going to see Picard this year because they
No.
haven't even started
No, I think they started production, didn't they?
pre-production, not production.
Oh, are you sure?
I'm fairly certain about that.
Oh, let me look at that. I
Yeah,
thought like
no.
because I thought like what's his name? The guy that like plays that like Ramlin kid. I thought that he posted something about going back to the set, but I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, maybe.
Do you remember his name? I don't remember the guy's name or the name of the character. So
Evan Agoria.
Sure.
So yeah, no, I think they're gonna start very soon if they haven't already. But I also think that they want to be really careful because their star is 80 years old.
I know he's so old. I hope he's,
so
let's
let's not. You know what? I'll wait for Picard if it means that we can have Sir Patrick Stewart around for many more years.
Sure.
For many more years. Absolutely, yes.
He is old. Goodness.
But he doesn't look it. I mean, he doesn't look 80. He doesn't look his age. But anyway.
Sure.
Yeah. So who knows what we'll see? Hopefully we'll hear. I mean, Strange New Worlds might be starting production soon. Who knows? Mm-hmm. Yeah, we don't have a whole lot of Star Trek news, so it would be nice, CBS, now that you've finished 23 weeks of Star Trek, that you give us some idea of what we're going to see in 2021.
I'll take anything. Yeah, give me anything.
Yeah.
Cool.
So
if you want to
I
reach
was
us,
trying to tell
we didn't finish that thought. So if you want to reach us,
yeah,
you can email us. Oh, do you want to go?
Sure. Email us at deepspacepride@gmail.com. You can also DM us on Twitter and Instagram. Our handle there is Deep Space Pride, and we'd love to hear what you're watching. If you've got any suggestions for us during these dry period that we're going to be going into, because I think that also I don't actually know what else is coming out this, in the next couple of months. That's
in general,
because we, I think we're kind of reaching the end of the well if you really think about it.
I think Netflix has like years of content that they like are slowly putting out, especially considering the international stuff that they also talk into sometimes,
Yeah, that's true.
So
we'll have to see.
We will just have to hinge our hopes on Netflix.
We will.
And I think Disney Plus, I mean, I think they're finishing up like Falcon and Winter Soldier. That's definitely slated to come out this year. There's definitely stuff, but everyone's kind of holding on to, For All Mankind, February.
Oh, great.
Season 2.
Okay.
Yes. So we have that to look
Awesome.
forward to.
There we go. All right. Yeah. Well, we'll have
I just saw they just released the trailer, I think, this past week.
Oh, okay, cool. I'll have to check
mid-February or something.
Cool. Well, I think that's it for this week. Next week, we're going to talk about the finale of season 3 of Discovery.
Can't wait to go through all my notes.
Yes. I'm so excited about hearing all your notes.
All my notes.
All your notes.
Oh, gosh.
I hope there's some good stuff in there, because there is some good stuff in there, and I'm excited.
There's some good stuff.
That's not convincing. But I'm excited to talk about it. I thought it was a great finale, and I am looking forward to talking about it next week. So we hope you all join us again next week. Thanks for listening, and we'll talk to you soon.
Bye, everybody.
Deep Space Pride is a production of Coconut Media Works. Executive producers Bill Smith and Dan Davidson. For more great Star Trek discussion, discover the other shows of the Trek Geeks Podcast Network at trekgeeks.com or find us in Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcast app.